Hello, my lovely Yoga Lodge family. It is the penultimate class. We've made it. We've done it. You've done, well, this will be 27 classes you will have done once you've completed today. And then you've got a lovely HIIT class to finish off with tomorrow. Today's class is called Run to the Sun. So it's our lovely wake up and stretch class, slow flowing, beautiful, stretchy class. Those of you who know me know that I'm a keen runner, and I always like to throw in a bit of runner's yoga. So this is based around runner's yoga. Obviously, absolutely fine for anybody to do, but if you are into your fitness, this is a great stretch for the lower body. Okay, we're going to come down to the mat and begin our class today in Baddha Konasana. So that is soles of the feet together, the knees out to the sides. You can take hold of the feet and take a little bend forward and push the elbows into the legs when you do it. Now, if you want to step the feet slightly further away, it will make it a little bit more accessible for some of you. And if you want to draw them in closer, that just gives a little bit of a deeper stretch. So entirely up to you which variation you take. Okay. Taking hold of the feet. We're going to take an inhale breath, stretch tall through the spine, reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and as we exhale, take a forward fold. So we're trying to draw the chest down towards the feet rather than it being about rounding the head down, okay? So it's the chest we're bringing down, and if you can, just encourage those elbows in towards the insides of the legs there. Inhale, find your halfway lift, gaze is forward. And exhale, bring the chest down once again. So trying to encourage a little bit of a deeper forward fold here. Lifting up through center, extending the legs out in front of you, so straight out in front. Take a deep inhale, sweep the arms up, and as we exhale, take that forward fold once again. So you can reach down, take hold of your feet, your ankles, the ground if you want to do. We're drawing the chest down once again, so it's not so much about rounding the head down again, it's the chest that we're trying to bring down, and now begin to lengthen through the hamstrings. Inhale, finding your halfway lift, and then exhale, forward fold once again. Walking the hands back to center. So we're going to take a little bend to our right leg. I'd like you to cross your left ankle over the right leg here. So we're coming into a variation of figure 4 pose. My hands are behind me to support me, and I'm just going to slide my hips slightly further forward so that the stretch in the left hip becomes a little bit deeper. Keep the left foot flexed here and just introduce a little bit of a sway from left to right. So it's a very gentle stretch into the left hip here. Working into the glutes, the glute med. And then what you can do is just begin to close up that gap. So really tighten up the stretch here by pushing the hips even further forward to the right ankle. Keep that little rock from left to right. And then take the hips slightly further back once again. Keeping the legs as they are here, I'd like you to bring your left foot down to the right side. So it comes down onto the mat, onto the floor. You're then going to bring your right elbow to the far side of the left knee there and take a twist behind. So the right elbow is kind of pulling the left knee over, deepening the stretch once again into the left hip. And then relaxing the twist a little bit. I'd like you to try, so you're going to bring the right arm down. I'd like you to pull your right foot towards the left hip now and tuck the left foot towards the right hip. So you're coming into kind of cow face legs, so your legs are bent around either side of you, okay? Take a deep inhale, reach the arms up, and as we exhale, take a forward fold. Just relax the head down onto the top knee. Relax the hips. Relax all of the lower body, in fact. And then lifting up through center. Bring the hands behind you, lean back and unhook the legs. Bring them back out in front of you. Give the knees a little tap out. And then coming back to that seated position. So taking a deep inhale, sweeping the arms up. And as we exhale, we're going to come back into that forward fold. So you can take hold of the feet, the ankles, the floor. We're drawing the chest down. If you have a strap handy, you can also use a strap, tie that around your feet. Pull the chest down like that. So we're stretching into the hamstrings. Inhale, finding your halfway lift, gaze is forward. Exhale, coming back into the fold. And then walking the hands back towards you. So we're going to do the same on the opposite side now. So taking a bend to the left leg, we're going to cross the right ankle over the top of the left thigh, flexing the right foot. The hands come behind us, and we're just sliding the hips ever so slightly further forward just to begin with, introducing that little rock from left to right. So it's kind of a very gentle stretch into the right hip. And then lifting the hips, sliding them closer to the left ankle, just intensifying that stretch ever so slightly. And then sliding the hips back. So we're going to take the sole of the right foot over to the left, bring it down onto the mat, and then we're going to bring the left elbow to the far side of the right knee. So we're driving the right knee over to the left, and we're taking the twist behind. Deepening the stretch into the right hip, the right glute. And then bringing the rotation back round, we're going to tuck our feet back towards the hips. So you've got your right knee on top. Your left foot is hooked round towards the right hip, and your right foot is hooked around towards the left hip. So this is where you'll begin to notice that you have one hip that's slightly tighter than the other. One side you'll probably be able to get into this far easier than the other side. So this is my tricky side. I can already feel the tightness in my hips, but it's that kind of really good pain where you're just like, oh, I'm doing something really good and scrummy there. We're going to take a deep inhale, sweep the arms up, and as we exhale, take a forward fold, bring the forehead down to the knee and just relax. Allow that stretch to take place into the connective tissue and the fascia, all the ligaments around the hips. Lifting back up through center, walking the hands behind you, leaning back, and then unhooking the legs, giving the knees a little tap out there, okay? Making your way over onto all fours into our tabletop position now. I'd like you to curl the toes under, fly the sit bones towards the sky, and come into a downward dog. You can begin paddling out in your downward dog if you want to do. Just intensifying the stretch into the hamstrings and the calves. And then I'd like you to rock forward into a high plank. So bracing in your high plank, I'd like you to take a bend to the right knee and drive the left heel towards the back of the room. So you get a really deep stretch in the calf there now. Switching sides, so bending into the left knee, driving the right heel down towards the mat, towards the back of the room. Pushing back into your downward dog. Taking the gaze to the top of the mat, step the right foot through between the hands, drop down the back knee, uncurl the toes, and shift the hips back into Ardha Hanumanasana, your half split. So you're going to take the right toes and point them up towards the ceiling, and we're going to take a forward fold. You have an option here to use a couple of bricks if you need to support yourself and bring the floor slightly closer to your hands. Stretching into the hamstring there and the calf. Walking the hands forward to the top of the mat. I'd like you to curl under the back toes, lift the back knee, and then just hop the left foot in ever so slightly. Try and straighten off the right leg, straighten off the left leg, and try and place the left heel down, coming into pyramid pose. Really gorgeous stretch through the front leg there. And then just hopping the left foot back down towards the bottom of the mat. We're going to press the weight into our hands, step the right foot back to meet the left foot, and take your downward dog. Finding stillness in the downward dog momentarily. Taking a deep inhale, coming up high on the toes, rounding through the back and rolling forward. As we exhale, bend to the knees and slide across the floor, taking the hips back towards the heels. Inhale, take it high up and push forward. And as we exhale, roll it back towards the heels. One more time. Inhale, coming up high on the toes, sliding it forward, and then exhale, bending the knees, taking the hips back towards the heels.
Taking the gaze to the top of the mat, step the left foot through between the hands. Drop down the back knee, uncurl the toes and shift the hips back, coming into Ardha Hanumanasana. Once again, your left toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Take that forward fold. Walking the hands back to the top of the mat, curling under the back toes, lifting the back knee. We're going to step the right foot in ever so slightly closer, straighten off the left leg, the right heel comes down and forward fold into pyramid pose. And then taking the weight into the hands, step the right foot further back to the bottom of the mat, slide the left foot back and come back into your downward dog. Taking the gaze to the top of the mat, I'd like you to step, walk or jump your feet to the outside edges of your hands, coming into your Malasana squat here. So as I've said previously in classes, if you can't get your heels down, it is fine to stay up on your toes, but try and step the feet slightly wider apart to give the hips a little bit more space to come down. And if you are just one of those few people that just really struggle with this position, you can sit on your brick or block there just to support you, okay? Pushing the knees out to the sides. And just introducing a little sway from left to right there. And then bringing the hands down to the ground in front of you. We're just going to introduce that sway a little bit deeper now. So you're swaying onto the toes of each foot. We're really stretching into the lower calves, into the Achilles heels. Really working into the lower parts of the legs and the ankles there. Bringing the hands down to the mat, rotating the feet inwards, lifting the hips and hanging in your forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift, gazes forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the hands all the way up to the ceiling. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Heel toeing the feet narrower now. Taking an inhale breath, we're going to hinge at the hips, trace the fingertips along the mat, sweep up and take our Utkatasana, our chair pose. From here, I would like you to cross your right ankle over your left thigh and sink down if you can. Taking the hands to prayer position at heart center. So this is another variation of that figure four pose that we've just done at the start of the practice. Really gorgeous deep stretch into the right hip and glute. You have the option to stay here, or if you can bring the hands down, intensify it by bringing the hands down towards the ground. For those of you with the hands on the ground, bringing them back to prayer position at heart center, unhooking the right foot and switching sides. So the left ankle now comes on top of the right thigh. Hands come to prayer position at heart center, and we're sinking down. So we're stretching into the left hip and glute there now. Option to bring the hands down to the ground if you need to do or want to do. And then peeling the hands away from the ground back to prayer position at heart center. Unhooking the left leg And coming back into our Utkatasana, our chair pose, sweeping the hands up. Exhale, swan dive to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, gazes forward. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back to high plank. Drop down the knees, uncurl the toes, and lower all the way down. Inhale, pushing up into cobra. And exhale, pushing back onto the knees, curl under the toes, take the sit bones towards the sky. From here, we're going to come down to the mat, so you can simply cross the legs in front of you and come all the way down, bring your bottoms down. So we're going to come into a straddle pose now. Doesn't need to be excessively wide, just a nice comfortable straddle position. We're going to focus on an external rotation of the hips. So can you see that I'm rolling the femur outwards? If you watch my feet, the legs are rolling outwards. We're going to take a deep inhale, sweep the arms up, and I'd like you to then rotate towards the right leg, so the chest is facing the right leg. We're then going to exhale and take a forward fold over the right leg. So once again, you can take hold of the foot, the ankle, the ground, the calf, whatever works best for you. Inhale, find your halfway lift, gazes forward. Exhale, fold. Walking the hands back towards the center, and then inhaling, sweeping the hands up, rotating the chest and the gaze towards the left leg, and as we exhale, taking that forward fold, grabbing hold of the foot, the ankle, calf, whatever it is that you want to take hold of. Inhale, finding your halfway lift, gazes forward. Exhale, fold. Walking the hands back to center, bringing the legs around. We're going to come all the way down to the mat now, giving the knees a little hug into the chest. So lowering the right foot down, we're going to cross the left ankle over the top of the right thigh, drawing the hands around the back of the right leg. We're going to pull the right knee in towards us, and with the left elbow, we're pushing the left knee away. Both of the feet are flexed, so we're active in our position. So once again, working on our figure four pose, stretching into the left hip, the left glute. Really gorgeous deep stretch. Then loosening the grip off the back of the right leg and crossing the left leg, giving the knees another little hug into the chest, and then switching sides. So we're lowering the left foot down towards the mat so that we can cross the right ankle over the top of the left thigh. We're then going to reach down through the left leg and draw the left knee in towards the chest. With the right elbow, we're pushing the right knee away, and we're going to flex both of the feet so we're active in our pose here. Loosening the grip off the back of the left leg, uncrossing the right leg. We're going to come into happy baby now, so taking hold of the outside edges of both of the feet, or you can take your yogi toe grip around the big toes. Either option is fine. Drawing the knees in towards the armpits and just having a little sway from left to right. So this is our inverted yogic squat, our malasana squat. So for those of you who find that squat a little bit tricky, this might be the option for you. And then loosening the grip off of the feet. I'd like you to extend the legs out beyond you and just come into a shavasana for a few moments. Closing off the eyes if you haven't done so already. The arms are down the sides of the body with a little bit of space there just to allow the shoulder blades to travel down the back. Palms of the hands facing upwards in that lovely gesture of surrender. Taking a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, allow yourself to melt into stillness. Just starting to bring your awareness back into your physical body. I'd like you to take a deep inhale, sweep the hands and arms above the head, take a full body pencil stretch. And as we exhale, float the hands and arms back down the sides of the body. Rolling onto your side, either side you're drawn to, taking the fetal position. And then pushing yourself up to seated. Cross-legged position, facing the front of the room. Eyes can remain closed or gaze simply lowered, sitting tall through the spine. Relax the forehead. Relax the eyes. Relax the jaw by allowing the teeth to part slightly. Relax the shoulders. Taking the hands to prayer position at heart center, finding our Namaste mudra. Fluttering open the eyes and bowing the head.
Thank you so much for joining me on our penultimate class, our final stretch and flow. Leave me some feedback, let me know how you're getting on, and we'll see you tomorrow for the last class. Thank you so much. Bye.